Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and today, in this video, we're going to talk about my criticisms to the Rise of Skywalker. And keep in mind that it will contain spoilers, so if you do not want any spoilers, which I shall also put spoilers in the name of the title of the video, I advise you to stop watching this video, go watch the movie, then come back. So your spoiler warning has been... You've been spoiled, warned. That makes even sense. So anyways. So, we all know the Emperor came back. And I don't exactly like it. I mean, from how J.J. Abrams made it, it kind of makes sense why Rey is so freaking powerful. Because it turns out that now Rey's a Palpatine. Like, what? Rey's a freaking Palpatine? Like, it would make more sense if she was a Skywalker. Then that way, the ending would have been a whole lot less cheesy. And, yeah, I still am mad that they brought Darth Sidious back in the Star Wars universe. They didn't really explain how he survived or came back from the second Death Star explosion. He looked pretty dead for a person who is alive, but Darth Sidious, I feel like he's, like, I just want to say, why do they think it's a good idea to bring him back in the flesh? Have him as a Darksider ghost. Like, have the emanating to be red, have him look like a phantom, some sort of phantom, while keeping the Force ghost of the Jedi looking pretty much the same, but have the phantoms that they might call the Sith Force ghosts looking totally scary and stuff. But they didn't really tell you how Darth Sidious survived the second Death Star explosion. Like, wait, all rights, he should have been dead. And I don't remember them explaining how he survived. And since I referenced the ending to the Rise of Skywalker, let's talk about that before going further, shall we? So Rey goes to the Lars homestead, and at the end of the movie, she looks at the twin sons. It might be somewhat cheesy, but I'm not gonna complain about that. She buries Luke's and Leia's lightsabers in the sand. Again, I'm not gonna complain about that, because that's probably her way of trying to honor their memory. And probably trying to be a respectful type thing. Okay, I can get behind that. But this woman comes when she, I think it was like after Rey buries the lightsabers, but before Rey looks at the twin sons on Tatooine by the Lars homestead, that this old woman asks, "Who are you?" And she says, "I'm Rey." "Rey who?" "I'm Rey Skywalker." After she looks at the first ghost of Luke and Leia, she said, "I'm Rey Skywalker." Like, one, bitch, stop lying. You might be hot as hell, but you ain't a Skywalker, you're a Palpatine. Two, like, isn't in the movie earlier where Leia was saying, "Don't be afraid of who you are"? So doesn't you taking the last name Skywalker kind of kind of goes back on what Leia said earlier? And I'm pretty sure that Rey said the same thing earlier in the movie as well. So it contradicts of what Rey says at the very least. Yeah, Leia might have said it to Rey, but Rey said that earlier, I'm pretty sure. And her saying, "Oh, don't be afraid of who you are," totally contradicts of what she says at the end. Yeah, there might be some hate to her with using the name, her birth name, Palpatine, but at least she, at least she could have potentially started working on restoring honor to her family. Like, yeah, my grandfather was a total douchebag, and yeah, he was a bad guy, and he insulted my family's name. But I'm going to bring honor to my family's name. I'm going to pull up Mulan and bring honor to my family. But no, decides to be a freaking Skywalker. And I hate how Kylo Ren died, because literally the last Skywalker bloodline died off. So, as far as we know, there's no other Skywalkers in the galaxy raising the Skywalker, and I mean by blood. Unless if Luke had a secret child, or there's a daughter or a son, Luke, yeah, Ben Solo was the last Skywalker. Because Leia died technically before Kylo Ren died. And how did Han Solo come back though? I mean, I'm happy. I did say in my positive review that I liked how Han Solo came, but how did he come back? He's clearly not a Force ghost. So was that the Force give him the guidance he needed to go back to the light? I don't know. I would like for that to be explained on top of how Darth Sidious somehow survived the events of the Battle of Endor. I would like to hear that. 3. I am mad they didn't have Anakin. Oh, they did, but I mean as a Force Ghost, at the very least, because I was looking forward to seeing Anakin as a freaking Force Ghost. J.J. Abrams, you had your opportunity. Yeah, you might have had his voice along with like Obi-Wan, like Ian McGregor, Alice Goodness, Ashley Axkine. I've heard that they had put Samuel Jackson's voice in there. I gotta rewatch the movie to see. I know they have Liam Neeson's in there, and Mark Hamill. So, and I think Leia as well. But yeah, you're missed opportunity. Maybe in like the future re-edits, if Hayden Christensen is willing to, be willing to do like a special edition to The Rise of Skywalker where he is next to his children. Because that would be cool. That would literally be cool. Yes, they would have looked older than him. Like Luke and Leia would have looked older than him. But it still would have been cool. You got Hayden Christensen to come back to reprise his role as Anakin for like 5 seconds in a special edition for Return of the Jedi as Force Ghost Anakin. Replacing like Sebastian Shaw, I think is the name of the original Force Anakin, with Hayden Christensen. You're really telling me you couldn't do the same thing with Hayden Christensen in The Rise of Skywalker? I mean, you CGI'd Leia's face, and used some of her old footage in the movie, and you made her a Force Ghost in the movie. It might have been like for 5 seconds, but still. So you're telling me that you couldn't put Anakin Skywalker in there as a Force Ghost? That, I gotta say this. Temporarily walking away from the negative and looking at the positive, I'm glad that they kind of debunked a lot of, like, they kind of ignored, for the most part, the events of Episode 8, The Last Jedi, because The Rise of Skywalker was more Episode 8-ish than Episode 9. I mean, than the actual Episode 8, because The Last Jedi did really nothing to the story, like the overall story. The Rise of Skywalker did. And so, technically, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, could have been as Star Wars Episode 8, The Rise of Skywalker. And the Last Jedi could be called like Star Wars The Last Jedi. Take out Episode 8. Just put The Last Jedi. Or the Holiday Special 2. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of the first Holiday Special. I mean, that's my point. That said, getting back to what I disliked about the movie. The Reylo. Now, what I mean by that, for those of you who hasn't heard about the Reylo, is where some fans were hoping that Kylo Ren and Rey will end up being a thing. They aren't exactly a thing in this movie, but they do kiss. After the Emperor gets destroyed, Kylo Ren revives Rey. They look at each other, they smile at each other, and then they kiss. When they were looking at each other, smiling, I was saying, don't you dare do it. If you do a Reylo, I'll be pissed off. And it's too late to walk out of the movie theaters. Don't you do it. Don't you dare do it. And what did? They freaking did it. They had a Reylo moment where they kissed, and I was saying, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that was cheesy as hell. That was cheesier than the actual ending. And that was totally unnecessary. Rey and Finn, Ren, would have been better than Reylo, or Ro, or Pei. I don't know. Would have been better than Reylo. But I feel like Finn would have been better because Finn actually showed signs that he had a thing for her in The Force Awakens, which got debunked in The Last Jedi, which I have a feeling that there was like a strong sense that Finn still had those feelings for Rey in The Rise of Skywalker. Especially when he thought that he was going to die. He'll say, Rey, I gotta tell you something. Never told him. So maybe, like, some sort of book? I don't know. But it's going to have to be explained in the book. And I swear, Finn is force sensitive and he doesn't even know it. Okay, he said, oh, I have a feeling. And then he said to this other stormtrooper defector, it's just a feeling, I have a feeling. And then I guess somehow senses that Rey got her life force temporarily drained. He said, oh no, Rey. Like, how do you even know that unless you're force sensitive? So, did the trailers for The Force Awakens, was that accurate? Or in terms of showing Finn was supposed to be the Jedi of this new sequel trilogy? What is he? Has he been force sensitive this entire time? Because that's what The Rise of Skywalker felt for me. It's that Finn could have been force sensitive. Like, I mean, and how the Emperor got destroyed. So they brought him back, which I had some issues with. Because it was kind of unnecessary, in my opinion. In terms of the way. Because they could have easily had him as a Force Ghost. Or a Phantom, as I said earlier. But they had Rey. Like, he was shooting lightning to a Rey. Rey uses Leia's lightsaber to deflect the saber. And he was saying, I am all this earth. And she said, I am all the Jedi. And then she grabs the Skywalker saber, activates that, and uses the lightsabers to deflect the lightning bolts to Darth Sidious, disintegrating Darth Sidious. Like, that's really how you're gonna go out this time around. Like, I was kind of hoping to see a lightsaber battle for some reason. And it's where Darth Sidious says, oh, I have not had a battle like this in some years. Or since the Clone Wars. Or something like that. And I feel like this kind of debunks the whole Chosen One, the whole Chosen One arc for Anakin, because he was supposed to bring balance for defeating the Sith. He essentially defeated Darth Vader. Anakin defeated Darth Vader, but did Darth Sidious ever die? Did he actually survive the explosion on the Death Star, or did he actually die and somehow use the Force to bring himself back? Did he find out how the secrets to resurrect the dead from himself? I don't know. And this is not even, you can't even say this is the story of Skywalker. This is not even the Skywalker saga. This is more like, I agree with like geeks and gamers and a lot of fandom men, like a lot of the fandom menace people, that this should be called the Palpatine saga, not the Skywalker saga, because in the prequels showed how Palpatine essentially wiped out the Jedi from the universe. The original trilogy was how the rebels defeated Palpatine and his empire. This new sequel trilogy was really about Rey finding her place in the world and defeating the original Palpatine. So, besides the end of the Skywalker saga, this would honestly be called the end of the Palpatine saga. Because let's be real, yes, the Skywalker family might have a prominent position in the 9 films, but it's really about the Palpatines essentially. Like, that's like why. If you made her a blooded Skywalker, like Skywalker in her blood, besides saying she's a Skywalker once she's really a Palpatine, or have Ben Solo survive with Rey, then you can get away with calling it the Skywalker saga. But you can't. But you can't, Disney, and I don't get why. Like, why? I love Star Wars, I really do. But I don't understand how the Skywalker saga, when all the Skywalkers after this movie is dead, and Rey, who's a Palpatine, just is stealing the last name. I don't get it. Ain't about the Skywalkers. More Skywalkers is like the second main characters over the Palpatines. I'm sorry. That's just me. So, what do you guys think? What are your guys' criticisms of The Last Jedi? I already did a video where I listed all the positives, or most of the positives, I feel, for me, I left out one part on accident, so I will make a video on that one part that I enjoyed the most. But I already did a video talking about pretty much everything that I liked about The Rise of Skywalker. So, if you guys haven't done so already, check that video out. So, what are your guys' issues? Since I was explaining my issues with The Rise of Skywalker, what's your guys' issues with The Rise of Skywalker? Leave a comment below, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. May the Force be with us all.